Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Facebook Live with Jeannie. I'm Jeannie Nielsen, the card lady, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. I worked 3/4 of a shift at the hospital today, and it took me well over an hour to get home. So I apologize if I'm a little scattered. I still have traffic brain, but I do have some fun cards to share with you again today. You probably remember the other day. Oh, where did I put them? Over here. Let me grab them because I don't think I have them in here. I wanted to show you the 2 cards I made the other day. They're right here. And then we're going to get right into our part 2 craft along. You remember this fun fold. This was one of them. So adorable. Bear Hugs and Kisses. And then we also made this one, and I love the blue, the Azure Afternoon, and the red lips, giving you a big smooch. So that was our fun day the other day. But today we are going to do part 2. And hopefully I'm ready for you. Like I said, I got this ready the other day. I think I have all the pieces. I think I wrote down the measurements, but we're going to just muddle through. And that's what a craft along is, right? I'm giving you time to keep up and craft along with me. So let me flip up to flip down. I think that will do it. Here's my hands. Don't look, my nails are so broken. They're so dry from this weather, and they're so brittle, I think because of the cold air, the cold, dry air. And then, of course, every time I open a syringe or, pop open a vial or something, they crack some more. So anyway, today we are going to make 2 more fun cards. So this is card number 1. It's a fun fold card. I don't know exactly what it would be called, like a pillar card, a column card. We're going to figure it out. We're going to, you're going to score right along with me as we make this. It has a fun back. Remember, we are using the Love Notes 6x6 paper pack, and that one, let me refresh your memory, it has fun patterns on one side, but it also has great already treat size. If you want to make a 3x3 card, these are already ready to go. You're to and from. You've got both sides. You can choose which side you want. This one's all ready to address. It's just such fun paper. And I've already gone through a pack and more, just trying to make some fun things. But anyway, I've already cut some of this, but we're going to cut more of this. Let's get right into this fun fold card. And with this card, we are going to both do paper cutting and scoring. So let me grab my paper cutter and my scoreboard right here, and let's get right to it. This card is a real red card base. It is 5.5 inches, so the regular size card standing up, but it is only 8.25 inches across. So the first thing we are going to do, we have our half sheet of cardstock, and the first thing we are going to do, let's take out our pieces. I'm going to lay these over here and hope that I don't lose anything. I tend to be a cyclone. They're talking about bomb cyclone snow here, and what that means is accelerates rapidly and then just turns into something. Well, that's what this happens with me when we are in my craft room. Before you know it, every space is covered and cluttered. Okay, so we have our regular here. This is our card base. I can get rid of that flirty flamingo. 5.5 by 8.5. And the first thing we are going to do is cut off 1/4 inch off of that side. Now, I often like to cut it so that I can see it and maneuver it. I like to use the score marks to the right of the track when I can, and that only goes up to 1.5 inches, but I like to use it when I can. And we're just going to cut off that 1/4 inch, and you can get rid of that. You don't need that anymore. Let me bring in my scoreboard, and we're going to make some really, really easy score marks. Okay, see if you can remember this. We've got our 5.5 inches by 8.25 inches. We are going to make 4 score marks. You're going to score it on the 1 inch line. You're going to score it on the 2 inch line. You're going to score it on the 3 inch line. And then guess where you're going to score the next one? You got it, on the 4-inch line. So very easy to remember those measurements. Let's move our scoreboard out of the way for a minute. We're going to bring it back for our pretty in pink piece here in just a second. But I'm going to bring my bone folder, and we are going to burnish on these score marks first. And they can all be on the same side. They can all be, well, if we're folding this way, this is facing up, they'd be mountain folds. The score line, the groove would be facing up. So we're going to go like this. Let's burnish right along that line. Fold it, burnish, fold it, burnish. And it's going to be up to you if you want to use liquid glue or if you want to use tear and tape for this. We're not going to glue it down yet because we're going to do next our layer for the back here. And I have my pieces of paper here. I wrote down my measurements so I wouldn't remember. This is going to be used for the back. We're going to use this one, and we're going to use this to from so that we can actually address this to somebody. This one, this piece of paper, this is one of my favorites. I just love this green heart floral paper. I don't know why, but I do. So you're going to cut it like it says on the paper here, 3 1/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Let me bring in my paper cutter again. 3 1/8 inches wide. So we're going to do it like that, 3. And each of these little marks after the 3 and between the 4 are 1/16 of an inch. So it's 2/16 is 1/8. Okay, so you're going to go over 2 marks for 3 1/8 inches. We're going to cut that. We'll save that for something else because we can use that, or we can use this herringbone pattern, which I really like, and we're going to use that on our next card. Okay, by 5 1/4 inches is our next cut. Cut that here. And what you remember is 5 1/4 inches is our standard base card, okay? And what I'm going to do is center that right, top, and bottom, okay? If I do it so that all 3 sides are equal, we're going to be perfectly set up here, okay? So let's do that. We're going to take our liquid glue because that's my favorite. Everybody has their favorite adhesive. What do you guys like to use? Do you like to use tear and tape? I do like tear and tape, but it has its uses. It's only going to be used, for me, I might use it on this fold, on that score line, because it's got to be kind of strong. But use it in boxes, so we're going to use that for our next 3. We're making a box today. I'll show you how to make an easy box. Like I said, I could do glue, or I could do some, let's see, I could do glue or the tear and tape. I've got tear and tape right here. I'm going to do tear and tape. When I do fancy fold cards, I do like to use my tear and tape. So let's do it like that. We're going to use 2 pieces because not only do we want it strong on the outside, we want it strong on the inside too. Okay. That's the best part about the tear and tape. You just rip it, you tear it. I like to hold mine over my hand. It's, I was doing that once, and somebody said that's such a helpful tip. When I put it over my hand, then I can just use that and I can just tear it where I want. So, if you guys need a tip, okay, when I'm removing tear and tape, I like to, you know what? I'm not going to do that yet. Before I attach that, I'm going to attach some DSP panels to my pillar right here, okay? So these are all 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 inches. So we're going to do 3 of them. Make sure that your lines are horizontal. If you want it to match up, make sure they all match up. Let's see, does this work? Maybe not. You know, if you're worried about it, see, there, I got it. I love puzzles. I really love puzzles. If you're going to worry about it doing a puzzle, then make sure you do it right. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to, I like the blue too, but this is not a blue card. It is a red card. You could easily make this a blue card though. Turn it over, use some Azure Afternoon or some Balmy Blue. And then you could make it a non-Valentine's card because not everything has to be about Valentine's Day, right? We like this, even though it says Valentine Kisses. Wouldn't it be great to use it for more than just Valentine's Day? Okay, I am centering this between all the score lines. Now, you probably can't really see the score lines, but they're there. See? I'm going to do the last one, and then we're going to attach the panel to the base of the card, if that makes sense. Okay, so I use some glue, liquid glue, and I'm going to go just like that. Let's not do it like that. If we're going to make our panels match, let's make them match the whole way. And I have a feeling it's not perfectly matched, but it's close enough that your eye deceives you and makes you think that you are. Okay, now I like my take your pick tool, my spatula, and I kind of dig under here, lift it up, and remove it. I'm trying to put it in the garbage next to me, so because this stuff, it gets static electricity and it goes all over the place. It's the same thing as the liners for the clear envelopes. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I've got that standing up here, but if you do want to check it, you can actually press down like that. And that'll be a good check as well. So, but I had it perfectly standing up, and you can see it's a perfect square there now. Okay, next we are going to do our mini card on top, and isn't that fun? I'm going to show you a trick that I did with this. Okay, so we've got our Pretty in Pink paper. I've already cut it, but I'm going to score it. Now, the score mark, it says to score it, it's going to be 3 inches and 4 inches on the long side. This particular piece of Pretty in Pink is 4 inches by 4.5 inches. I can look at this and see that this is slightly longer than this. If you don't have an eye for it, take out your ruler before you score, because you definitely need to make sure you do it on the long side, or your card, your mini card, your basic white card that's going to go on top is not going to fit. Okay, so we're going to score it. Like I said, I could see that this is the long side, 4.5 inches by 4 inches, and we are going to score it at 3 inches and 4 inches. Let me bring in my scoreboard. I really don't like to use my paper trimmer for scoring. My paper trimmer is just for trimming. There is the occasion that I will use it for scoring, maybe a fancy fold card, maybe if it's on an angle or something where I can line up the points. You know, I could line up on the track or something. But otherwise, I really would rather use my scoreboard. It's the perfect tool. We're going to score it at 3 inches, and we're going to score it at 4 inches. And that leaves us a 1/2 inch here that's going to tuck under. Before you attach this to your card, I've got a couple of tips and tricks for you. We're going to run some ribbon around this, and we're going to do this before we attach our basic white panel on top. So what I'm going to do, I'm looking for my card. Here's my card so I can see and show you. The 1/2 inch is going to go underneath. Bring your bone folder in again and burnish on these score lines real quick. Just like that. Keep your tear and tape close because we're going to use it any second. Now, what I want to do, I want to run my ribbon around my panel. So see what I did? I have a hole here. I have a slit or a slot, whatever you want to call it. Can you believe I actually, this is part of the 3-pack of mini punches. I think there's a circle, like an 1/8 of an inch circle. There's this, what I call a slit. And then there's this, what I call a slot. It's a tiny bit bigger. This would be good for hanging tags and things like that. If you have to, this one will work. But I prefer that you use the slit rather than the slot. Okay? Say that 3 times fast. What we're going to do, we've got this here. We are going to fold on our 3-inch line, the first line, not the second. You want the first line. And we are going to punch as close as we can, as close as you can without cutting on the score mark. It's really important that you don't cut on the score mark or you're going to have an extra big hole because it's going to, and we don't want that. So I've moved it in slightly. Hopefully this is enough. I'm about an inch above from the bottom. You could do even a little bit less. Let me go a little more, like 3/4 of an inch. Maybe even a little bit more. Okay, so I'm still, you can't see the score line. Make sure you don't see the score line. And we're going to punch through 2 layers. And you can easily do that. You just saw me do that. Didn't take that much effort. Look at this. You're not going to see this because it's going to be underneath your white mini card on your front. Okay, so before we do that, let's attach, I think I'm going to attach the mini card next. I can't remember how I did it in the directions, but we're going to put tear and tape on our the side that has just between the 1/2 inch and the side score mark, okay? So, and it's going to go like this. So your 1/2 inch score line is going to be on your right. Now, I figured out how to attach this to the panel just perfectly. If you see how I did this, I'll remove the tear and tape in a second, but I'm going to fold this over so that this 3-inch score line is going to be on the edge of my card. Before I do that though, let me not forget, oh, I could do my paper, couldn't I? How did I do that? I guess I did it. You're going to do it under your basic white, so we can still do this. We can still do this even after we've attached the card. So let's do that. I got my tear and tape. I'm going to remove my liner, just like that. I'm just kind of putting my spatula underneath and lifting it up, and that's how easy it is. And we're going to go like this. So what I want to do is attach that on the right side of the card. And what you do need to do is center that, so it has to be centered from top and bottom. And I can't really see what I'm doing here. I can't really see if I was standing, which I always do when I'm stamping. The only time I'm going to have to figure out a different setup, because the only time, I'm going to just rub that a little bit. The only time that I sit is for my Facebook Live. I do everything standing up. Okay. So you're going to see just like that, it's going to be perfectly centered on our card, and then we can still close our card. If you do it over too much more, it's going to overlap over the card edge, and you're not going to be able to fit it in the envelope. And that's the reason for doing it that way. So you're lining up that second score line on your edge right there. Okay, the next thing I will do is use some of my Balmy Blue organza ribbon, my sheer ribbon. I really love this ribbon. I'm so sad that it's already on. Oh, we're not going to do it through the top one. That's going to be underneath our white panel. We're going to do it through the side, just like that. So let me do it just like that. And what I'm going to do before I attach this, no, I do think I'm going to do I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to attach it. I'm going to tie my ribbon. You could choose to do whatever you want. Do you want to do it with under your white card or under the base card? It's totally up to you. What you have to make sure though is that, do I seem indecisive? It's because it's been that kind of day. And anytime I wanted to get anything done today with one of my patients, he was Mandarin speaking only. It's so funny. I had to get an interpreter on the phone every time I wanted to give him any kind of instructions. He really spoke. He said good and thank you. That's all he could say. Good, thank you, and yes. And no. I guess four words. But he is talking to the interpreter. Let me do this. I'm going to do this a little bit so that I have more of a tail here. And he talk and he talk and he talk and he talk and he talk. And it would take him about a minute to say everything he had to say. And then the interpreter would say, he says he's doing fine. And I'm like, wait a second. All those words? And he said he's doing fine. It's very funny. They have a lot of words. So anyway, what I'm going to do is now shimmy this. If I hadn't done it so tight, I'd be able to shimmy it easier. Just to the right, and it really has to be all the way to the right of your card, okay? just like that, all the way to the right, because you're going to do it so that it's off the side of the card and you can still get your white mini card on your white, the one that we're going to stamp our bear on top of it, just like that, okay? Okay, so now I have this piece of basic white, and it is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. We are barely giving ourselves a 1/16 of an inch around all 4 sides, okay? And what we are going to do first, before we attach that, we're going to do some stamping. So we have our proud, or maybe it's our bashful bear. I'm going to call it a bashful bear. Doesn't it look maybe a little bit bashful? Like, I'm so shy. I'm so cute, but I'm so shy. That's what the bear is saying. So I have Memento ink, and I have my bashful bear image right here. And we are going to stamp him directly onto our basic white, okay? And then we're going to color him. So give it a good tap. We're not doing the same. This is not the same as our foam pads. The Memento with the felt pad, you have to give it a pretty decent tap. Don't smush it, tap it, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do on this, I think I was thinking after I made this card, I'm going to move my guy in a little bit more to the center. Not too much, because I have to have room for my wings yet. Oh, and I can't wait to do that too. I'm going to show you the trick that I came up with for the wings. Okay, so we've got our beautiful bashful bear right here, and we are going to color him. And I think initially on my paper, I said something about the stamping up 300 and 400 or 300 and 200. Use your pecan pie blends. It's going to work just fine. I use my pecan pie blends, and what I like to do is my lines first, just like that. So it's going to look a little bit different than the one I stamped already, because I did it with the different, and if you're asking what is the Stampin' Up! 200 and 300, those things, they're the Flesh Tone inks Stampin' Blends that came out a couple years ago. And there's definitely a place for them in your stamping both your people and your pets. So, okay, I'm just outlining, and that's the easy part. It really is. We're going to go around the ears, just like that. Go around, and I'll go around the snout, just like that. Okay, so that's just the dark, and then it's really easy once you've done that. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, we are going to color our snout. Oh, you know what? I colored it all the same. We don't need that. That's for later. Okay, so I've got my light pecan pie, and we are going to just use the brush end, and we are going to color in everything. And see how fast and easy this is now, because I've done the outlining already. If you want to do the lips and the snout a different color, it's your card, don't forget. So here we go. Welcome to everybody that's watching. I'd love to think that there are hundreds of people watching me, because what I have to share is so fun and valuable. Make sure you say hi and leave me a comment. I do get back and I read those comments, and it just brightens my day, just to let you know. So send me a heart. I'll send one back, because love you guys too. See, I've already stamped him, so I don't have to die cut him. I'm saving a step. There is one other thing, though, that I am going to do. I'm going to stamp on a tiny piece of basic white here. I am going to stamp my wing. It's like a Cupid bear, a bashful Cupid bear now. So we just keep adding to his title. Just stamp that, just like that. And then die cut him with the coordinating die. And with the magic of television, you probably already saw this. Ta-da! I got it done. You blink and it's done. That's what genies do, you know. Okay, I want to color this with my, you know what? I guess I didn't bring my petal pink. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. I'm going to do the light petal pink for my wing, okay? You can color the whole thing. Actually, don't. You're not going to color the whole thing. You are just going to color the part of the wing that you see, not the inside here. And I'll show you why in just a minute, okay? What I need to do next is, sorry, I dropped my take your pick tool, and if I still didn't find my XO yet, mostly because I forgot. What I'm going to do is fold this as close to that line as I can, and you don't have to be exact. You can try, but you don't have to be exact because it's a curved line, and it's really hard to fold a straight line on a curve. But you can see here, that's pretty close, right? I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. I am going to, and this one actually, you know what? I want to do it a little bit even. It's not going to work quite the way I wanted it to because I want it to be a little bit further apart because I wanted to show you what I did. So you can still, there we go. That's how I want you to fold it, okay? A little bit away from that line. And we are going to attach that, just like that, to our bear. Just that piece. You know what? I think I could take glue, but that gets a little messy. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to use some glue dots to do that. So you're going to just do the glue dots right here on that little fold back that you have there. I'm just picking up my glue dots. You know, if you're looking, there are some demonstrators that have perfect nails. Well, I have hard-working hands nails. I'm sorry. There's just, I can't keep a nail to save my life. Okay, so I've added that, and I'm going to just put my curve on the curve of the bear, as close as I can. As close as I can. And you can see some of the white there, right? Well, you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to take my light pecan pie, and I'm just going to color that. And just like that, it blends in with the rest of the bear. And now, it's supposed to actually have 3D, but my glue dot is a little wide, and it kind of sticks down. But the idea is that your wing actually flaps, okay? Okay, let's attach that. Let me first cut my ribbon here. Now that I tied my bow, time to cut the apron strings. And we are going to, I really tied this tight and I didn't mean to do that. Let me stretch out the ribbon as much as I can. There we go. I'm going to just attach my glue, or add my glue, I should say, so I can attach my panel. This is my stamped bear, just like this. And then when you're done, oh, and you know what? If you don't want to do it that way, you can also do it with dimensionals if you don't want it to, oh no, it's working fine. It's working fine. We're going to, let me just sit here for a second. 1001, 1002. I had somebody, I went to her class and she said, okay, just like when you're stamping, if you need to hold your stuff, you're going to count. Oh, I got glue there. Wow. 1000, she would say, instead of 1001, 1002, she'd say, I love Michelle, I love Michelle. So you can say, I love Jeannie, I love Jeannie, I love Jeannie. And that should be long enough for you to hold that and also to stamp. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to do. I could do it like this, but I don't really want it that close to my, just kind of what we're going to do. Flip this back, just like that, and we're going to add, you know what? Instead of glue, instead of messy glue, let's add some tear and tape, and then I can actually keep my ribbon there too. We're going to do it right there on the edge, as close to the edge as you can do. It's kind of unfortunate. If you ever need, by the way, instead of the 1/4 inch tear and tape, if you need an 1/8 of an inch instead, overlap the edge, pull up your liner, and then flip it back on itself, and you've got your 1 inch adhesive. Okay, here's my take your pick tool. I'm having fun tonight. I think it's been such a stressful week at work, and it really has. I got out of work at 8 last night. So today was only a partial day, thank goodness. But I'm just going to put this, I guess I am, it actually is pretty close to right there. That is what we're going to do. Just put it down. That's there you go. And see, you've got your slit there. Mine is a little bit bigger now because I pulled my ribbon so tight, but we have to do a little bit of embellishing yet. So we are going to, let me move this out of the way. This is what I love about stamping. Stamping with Jeannie is never perfectly beautiful, let me tell you. Oh, I forgot, we want to stamp our sentiment. And this one says, sending lots of love your way to celebrate this special day. Now, yes, could be Valentine's Day. Could also be your birthday. Could be an anniversary. Could be a new baby. It could be anything you want to celebrate, okay? So don't forget that. Don't put this on the shelf and say, oh, I can't use that. It's not Valentine's Day anymore. This one, and if you actually, I will be sending to anybody that's ordered this month, or maybe actually it's during February. Anybody that orders during February, you get a tutorial from me to thank you. And boy, am I behind on sending my tutorials. In case somebody wants to remind me that they haven't gotten it yet after ordering. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. But you know what? It's photopolymer, so we're going to do our best to line this up. And then you know what's going to happen. It's not going to be perfect. It never is. And it's going to look like you need some glasses. So say, oh, maybe you haven't gotten your eyes checked lately. Okay. I should have. You know what? Do as I say, not as I do. I should have stamped that before I attached that. There's too much of a bump there. So you know what we'll do? We will find a label and we will stamp a label over top and pop up the label. Why not? We certainly can. Of course, I don't have one cut right now, so we're going to just stamp our red hearts and then we'll jump ahead to our perfect card here. Okay? Leave it to me. Actually, I do that on purpose. I didn't really do it on purpose, but I do want to tell you that not everybody is perfect, and you don't have to be a perfect stamper to be a demonstrator. You just have to love what you do. Okay? There's my heart. Let's do another one over here. Do another one down here. You can do as many hearts as you want. That's a little smear. Ugh. I'm going to have to give this to, Chris comes down, and when he wants to give me a card, he comes down in my stash, and I'll leave this one out so he can give this one to me. Then I'll be okay with it. Isn't that a mess? Okay, one more thing we have to do. We need our rainbow dots. You can do whatever rainbow dots you want. You could do the pink, you could do the blue. I wish there was green. I chose these, and I kind of think that they matched the red the best. So let's do that. Like I said, I like to use the spatula end, or the putty end, when I do my dots. I'm going to show you that we can resurrect this card, by the way. It's not going to be all... I'm wondering if I have a label in my stash. I always keep extra labels. I have a box, and this is just all of my extra labels that I've cut over the years that I might want to save. And I could just do a regular, I don't know if this is going to fit or not. I think it is. Okay, let's try this one. This is one of the Stylish Shapes banners, and let's see if I can stamp that perfectly. And then we'll attach it to the card. So we'll show you how we can fix the card. A lot of times if you stamp a mess, oh, that's not straight. of all things. I didn't do a, it's not a bad stamping, but it's not straight. Let's see if I can do a better job stamping on the back side. And then I'll tell you what I do with these labels when I use the back side. That's a little bit better. Now what I would like to do, I'm not going to do it now, but what I like to do is run my label, if this is the back, if it's a perfectly mirror image, whether it's front or back, I like to turn over my thing and I'll run it through the die cutting machine again. You can pretty much fit it right into the banner die and do that. So let's pop up our, is that terrible? I think I'm going, you know, I'm gonna attach the crooked one. Like I said, I'll leave it here so Chris can give it to me for Valentine's Day. I'll just kind of strategically leave it on the table. He loves to come down. He's like, yeah, I made you this card. I'm like, that's funny. I think I made that on my Facebook Live last week. Okay, so this is how we're going to resurrect this. We are going to not put it upside down. We're going to just layer it right over top of that, just like that. Just like that. And you almost can't see it. Okay, so that's what you can do if you make as big a goof as I do, okay? Okay, let's just do the back real quick. I've probably taken 45 minutes for one card, and it's not really that difficult a card, sorry to say. Let me clean my stamps before I get it on my envelope or something. I like to have my chamois nearby. Boy, time for a new chamois. This one has seen lots of love. Look at that. Still gets things clean though. And speaking of the chamois, I'm going to just say this real quick. Somebody told me if you run your chamois under warm water, it takes out more of the blues and blacks. You run it more under cold water and it takes out more of the reds and oranges. So if you ever need that to clean your chamois, change your water temperature. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut right on these lines. I'm going to line up my line right there in the track and cut that, just like that. And then I am going to cut it down to 3 by 3, just like that. I will save this for something else. You know what we could do? We could put that actually right on our envelope, couldn't we? So rather than losing it, maybe I could attach it right here on my envelope and it's ready to go. Isn't that cool? I think we're going to do that. Okay, let me move this out of the way. And I'm just going to attach this to the back. What I'm going to do is try and get as close to, okay, what's right side up? I think that looks as close. I mean, whatever you choose is going to be fine. Maybe that does. We're going to put it like that. Just make sure it is equal, at least straight, parallel to the top, okay? And the reason I say that is because if you look at this, it's not straight. Oh, I could do this one, the Love You More. Let's do the Love You More instead. It's just the other side. So we've got this one, or you can do this Love You More on the other side. Really easy. We're going to do that near the top here. I think I'm going to kind of do it equal left and right and just nice and straight across the top, just like that. And then I'm going to take my to from and I'm going to glue that right underneath it. That's all we have to do. So we've got our dots on there. And if you wanted, whoop, that was close. You could do this side if you wanted to, but I like the to from so that you can actually sign your card, because there's not really a good place to sign this card otherwise. There you go. You could also put a 4 by 5 1/4 inch layer here and just stamp it as a regular card, whatever you want. But I love these pieces of DSP that's part of this pack. So there we go. Ta-da! Not terrible, right? Not terrible. You could add dots here, whatever you want to do, But I hope you liked my little tip about how to do that here with this card, adding the ribbon. Okay, time to move to the next one. We are going to next do our, what's our next card? Our next card is the Flirty Flamingo card. And where is my sample? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I probably took it to die cut something. Or it's buried. I don't see my sample. I showed the other night on my thing. So, you know what? Since I can't find it, we're just going to make our card. We're going to just make our card, and you'll just have to take my word for it. I can't. This is classic, guys. Absolutely classic. If I could ever do something without losing something, it would be good. Okay, be right back. I'm going to do one run around my room and see if I see it real quick. Because it's an awfully cute card. And if I don't see it, we're just going to wing it. Because I've got the directions too, and I know how it's supposed to look. Maybe it's on the floor. Anyway, okay, let's make our next card. And then this one is going to have to turn out perfect so I can show you, right? That's what it's going to have to do. Okay. Here we have our Flirty Flamingo card base. I did the scoring already because it's a regular Flirty Flamingo. It's a regular card base. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay. You know, where did I see that card? I put it someplace. This is what Joan says, someplace safe. And she's absolutely right. It is maybe, actually, in my craft room, there's no place safe. Just saying. No. Okay. So we've got 2 pieces. And I'm going to have to measure because we're going to, this is what we're going to use, a couple of pieces of DSP. And we've got our basic white panel for the front. This is 4 inches by 4 inches. You're going to center that on your card front, just like that. So let's glue that down. And you can glue because there's not a lot of stamping as far as I remember. We're going to glue that right down. And then we are going to glue down some DSP strips. There we go. We've got 2 DSP strips. We've got this, it's not really, I guess it's kind of a gingham. I'd call it a gingham. And that's the side of one of my pieces of DSP. Let's see what side. Oh, that's this one. We just use little pieces of the DSP of that piece right there. Okay. And then we also have the stripe. And this one, we're going to put our, just like that. I really want to, you know, I wish I could. Yeah. You know what? I didn't cut my, it's the wrong strip. Okay, wait 1 second. Let me cut the strip. I do need that herringbone strip. I was saving it. We're going to do the herringbone strip really quick. 3/4 by 4 3/4 inches. So let's cut that here. That gingham goes on the inside. I had saved that because I wanted to show you how to cut this. So we saved this piece here, and we're going to do 3/4 of an inch, and then we're going to cut it down to 4 3/4 inches, just like that. So it is our herringbone. It's not our gingham, just saying. Okay, so you still have this. You can do it again, whatever you want to do. Okay, we are going to attach our herringbone strip right there on the edge. Okay, maybe about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Okay, so we've got our 3/4 by 4 3/4 inch strip. This is a really easy sketch, by the way, if you want to. I'm going to show a little bit of white, not too much, just like that. And then I have my horizontal stripe here, and that piece is 3 inches by 1 inch, okay? And we are going to overlap just like that. We're going to overlap it a little bit on the edge. And once again, we've got the blue on the other side. You could always make this more of a blue card. Find some pool party or balmy blue within the thing. We're going to kind of go like this. Let's go like that. Even top and bottom, and then nice and straight on the side. Okay. Next, we are going to build our kissing booth, and I have already done my kissing booth here. This is the top, and you could save this heart for the box. I'll show you. That heart will work if you don't have the endless love dies when we get to the box, okay? That's almost exactly the same size, okay? What I'm going to do with this is take my glue dots, and I am going to find a glue dot here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm going to attach the glue dots to the front, okay? And you'll see why in just a second. Got to find another glue dot. Oh, they're on the other side. Okay. Don't have to look too far. You just have to look on the right side. See how I took that to my glue dots. What I'm going to do is lay this right down here, and I'm going to put my booth right on top of that. So it's gonna, and that's pretty close to even, just like that, okay? And then I think what I want to do next is we have let me put this here. We have a scallop, which we're going to put across our booth, just like that. So you could do either way. You could do it on the front or back because the scallop is going to cover it up either way, okay? Let's attach this to the paper. I think what I want to do is pop this up because I'm going to put my bear inside, okay? So let's get some dimensionals, and I think I've got some regular ones that I threw in here tonight. It's a mystery where I put that. I'm telling you. It is a mystery. If you wanted to overlap that where you have the glue dots and with your dimensionals to hold them in place, see how I just did that? You can do that too. Let's do another glue dot down there. Dimensional down there. Dimensional there. And then I think what I'm going to do is pull in some mini dimensionals for the top. The big dimensional I think is going to be too much, and I still want the top to be popped up as well. Let me just grab a couple of those. This is going to be your 2-hour craft along. People are going to be knocking at the door for my paper pumpkin night tonight, and here I am. Okay, what I'm going to do before I attach that, let me stamp. I forgot that I want to stamp. I want to stamp because this is a kissing booth. We could do bear hugs and kisses, or we could do sending you a big smooch. So let's do that. We're going to stamp it in red. Let me find my red ink here. How can everything disappear so quickly and easily? There's my red ink. Okay. I have everything in boxes, and I have, this is the to be completed, this is the completed, and it's not supposed to end up in the other box. But oh, and you need a scrap, by the way. You need just a little scrap because you're going to stamp kisses. So I'm going to try and just ink up mostly the kisses just so I don't make a big mess of my glass mat. We're going to just stamp kisses right on a little scrap. And you've got lots of scrap because that's your 1/2 inch left over when you cut down your basic white to 4 by 5 1/4, okay? Okay, let's stamp the sending you a big smooch. And we're going to do that in real red. We're going to do that at the bottom, kind of centered in the white space there. Let's just do it like that, okay? Sending you a big smooch. And that shows us exactly, I'm trying to multitask and clean my stamp at the same time, where we're going to now attach our kissing booth. So we can do that right there. Perfect. Ta-da. Now we have our sign. I cut this out of crumb cake. This is one of the dies. It's a real easy sign. And what we're going to do is find our snips. You know, as soon as and I'm going to just cut around here. You guys know as soon as I hang up on this Facebook Live that the card is going to be sitting right next to me, right? But I think so far we're doing okay. So I'm just cutting real close to that, around that. I could even cut a little closer. Let me cut a little bit closer, do a neater job. And we are going to glue this right on our sign. I'm not gonna pop it up. I'll pop up my sign. I'm not gonna pop up my kisses part. Let's just glue that directly down. What would be really cool, this just seems so fun. Can't you see it having like a 5 cents with a, or $5 or something with a dollar sign upside down or backwards, or, you know, I can't. Maybe the 5 backwards or something very kind of juvenile, right? It just reminds me of that. Okay, so I said I was going to attach my scallop border, so let's do that. And then we just have to attach our bear. So we're going to stamp our bear in 1 second. And with the magic of television, I have already, besides the scallop border that you could put at the top, there's also a flag that you could put, you know, like the pointed flags that you could drape here across the top in different colors if you want to. You can stamp it in black and do it in different colors, whatever you want to do. Okay, I'm going to just kind of poke this under my scallop border a little bit that hasn't completely glued down, just like that. You know what? I did it differently. I am going to pop that up with some dimensionals. I'm remembering how I made this card. This was Judy's card, and she's just so incredibly talented. That's all I can say. But don't forget, it's your card, so you can do it as you want. The directions show you exactly how to do it, but I wanted to do it like this, so a little bit askew. And then I am going to take one of my dots, and I think I'm going to, I think I have to do the Flirty Flamingo dot because it matches our Flirty Flamingo banner. I'm just going to put that right there like it's pinned there. Doesn't that look cute? Okay, so we've got that. And then let me move my rainbow dots for 1 second, and let's get our bear stamped. So we're going to stamp our bear in Memento. So we have our scrap of crumb cake, and this is the sitting dreaming bear. So this is the daydream bear. So this is Donnie the daydreamer, okay? Or Dottie the daydreamer. Maybe it's Dottie because, you know, wouldn't it be a female in the kissing booth probably? I guess it depends on what you want in the kissing booth. Right? So anyway, I've already die cut with the magic of television. Ta-da! I already die cut this. And we are going to just tuck her, Dottie, inside our card. So just glue her down. Okay? Dottie the daydreamer. Just like that. If you want to, just like we did with our other bears, you certainly can. I'm just going to give, oh, this real red is, I think I need a new real red, light real red. The brush tip works, but I think it's going to be too much. So anyway, let's just leave that. I don't want to overdo it, but I just added a little bit of red there. Okay, so we've got our white inside panel. And what are we going to do with the inside panel? I think we're just going to attach this like I had here. And it was supposed to go all the way across, but I had to make use of some edges. So I ended up, mine is only 3 3/4 inches instead of 4 inches across. I used, remember when I showed you this? One of these is too short. So depending on how you cut it, we're just going to center it in the bottom there like that. Just like that. And then we've got one of our die cut hearts. This is part of the dies. And we're just going to, I'm not going to pop it up. I'm just going to attach that right there. A little bit at an angle. And let's attach that inside our card. And the only thing I have left to do is maybe add a couple more dots. And, of course, because this Dottie the Daydreamer is handing out kisses, I should have XOs all over the place, but like I said, that's on the ground next to me, and I gotta remember to look for that after this. But, so let's just do some real red hearts, and I've got that right here. I'm gonna try and do as perfect a job as I can, since everything else looks beautiful on this card, right? We're just gonna do some real red right there. We could do real red up here in the corner if we want. Not perfect. Don't do what I did. And then we could even do some real red right there if you want. So there you go. That is our card. Couple more dots. Let's see. This peach doesn't really work. We tried to use something that we haven't used for a while in our craft along, and these rainbow dots we have not used in our craft along for a while. So I'm almost out of my Flirty Flamingo. The Pretty in Pink, no, this is really more like Bubble Bath. It really doesn't match the shade of the paper here, so I guess we're going to have to do it like this. I'm going to have to do more Flirty Flamingo. And I could put it here. That's actually what Judy did, but I'm just going to put them here instead. Just add them there. She added one to each side of your scallop. So however you want to decorate is up to you. And ta-da! Card number 2. We'd better get going before I run out of completely out of time. Going into your dinner time now, right? Have you noticed that my Christmas clock is not singing? It needs a new battery, and I keep forgetting it. As soon as I walk around the corner, it's like there's a magnetic thing that just wipes my brain clean, and whatever I want to do, I forget as soon as I go around that corner. Okay, I have the box, and I have a lot of pieces here. Let me show you the box made. I don't know if I showed you this. There's a little treat inside, so we're not going to open that so that you see the treat. I'm just going to tell you that there is a treat inside. Let's make this box. So this box is 6 inches by 10 inches on our gorgeous grape. This is the base, 6 inches by 10 inches. Let me bring in my scoreboard, and we are going to do some scoring. Once again, you have to know what's long side, what's short side, and it's pretty obvious that our long side is right here. We are going to score it at, let me get my tool, 2 3/4 inches. We're going to score it at 4 inches. We're going to score it at 6 3/4 inches, and we're going to score it at 8 inches. Okay, that's on the long side. Now we need to score it on the short side, and we're going to score it at 1 1/4 inches and 4 3/4 inches. And what you'll notice is each side is 1 1/4 inches from the edge, right? Now we have to cut, and I have a kind of a mock-up right here. So we're going to use that to follow our cutting directions. And it really is pretty easy. You just have to do as I say, not as I did. I actually cut, because usually when you're doing a box, you're cutting in on these corner edges there. You're cutting all on one side. That's not the case with this box. So what we're going to do is figure out which side has the larger side. And this is our larger panel compared to this smaller panel, okay? What we're going to do is cut up to that first score line on each side next to this larger panel. So cut on the side, the long side, up to the first score line, where on the side where your the box space is actually larger. Does that make sense? That you can see that this one is only, I always do that. Maybe I'm supposed to be metric. See, that's only 2 inches, and this one is actually 2 3/4 inches. So on the 2 3/4 inch panel side, cut on the long side. Then you're going to turn, and you are going to cut on the score line. On the short side, you're going to cut all the way to your second score line, okay? So you flip this 90 degrees, 6 inches by 10 inches. I'll tell you those measurements again while I'm cutting here. 2 3/4 inches, 4, 6 3/4 inches, and 8 inches. So hopefully if you didn't catch it the first time, you caught it this time. And then you're going to score it at 1 1/4 inches from each side. So 1 1/4 and 4 3/4 inches because it's 6 inches wide. What I need to do is cut out the corner square, rectangle. We're cutting out this corner rectangle, okay? Get rid of those pieces or save them if you want to. My scrap bin is so overwhelmed that I have to start getting really picky about what I am saving. Okay, bring in your bone folder and we're going to burnish on those score lines. So I'm going to burnish on all the score lines and obviously follow your cutting pattern. So I'm burnishing like that. Then of course I have an extra, I'm burnishing on the short side, burnishing there. I am burnishing everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. I got one more score line to burnish here. Right there, I think, because I think I got those. Okay, so now we are getting ready to decorate our box. So let me bring in the box again. This is what our box looks like. So what we are going to do is fold in those 2 side flaps, and we're going to add some tear and tape to that. So that's where we're going to add the tear and tape, to these 2 little side flaps. Okay. I like to use 2 pieces. You could do one across the middle. You could do like an X or a V or something, however you want to do it. But make sure that on the middle, you know, the inside and the outside are going to adhere equally. Okay, so there we have that. Now we do need to have, what we're going to do is bring this up and we are going to attach our box like that, okay? So this is going, I'm going to fold that out of the way so you can see. This is the front of our box. So now, see, I have the tear and tape here on, this would be the back side. You're flipping that in and doing that. You're also going to attach it to these 2 side flaps here. So I can't say this without a, you're going to have to watch the video rather than just listening to me, obviously. If this was radio, I'd be in trouble because there's lots of flaps here. And you're going to say, I don't know which flap she's talking about. This is going to be on the inside, and this is going to be on the flap that's on the front that folds to the back, okay? And the reason you're doing that is because you want it to, when you've got this folded up, oh, I didn't burnish all my edges. I forgot this score line, and I forgot this score line. Okay, now we're good. Okay, bring up your box. Let's remove our tear and tape on the 2 little side square flaps. Okay. Let's do it on both because you almost have to do it together. Both the left and the right flap. Okay. I'm going to bring up my box and I'm going to swing this up and we're going to perfectly adhere it to our side. Just like that. Okay. Nice and easy so far, right? So easy. Now what I'm going to do is, but you know what? I forgot. I do want, before I attach this, I think I want to attach my red panels. I've got DSP and red matte panels to attach. So let's get rid of some of our die pieces. We have our 2.5 inch stylish shaped circle. And that's going to be on our lid. We've got a couple of different pieces of DSP. Note that one is the stripes and one is the hearts. The larger one is the hearts, and let me tell you what the size is. The DSP is 3 1/4 inches by 2.5 inches. And we are going to just put that on a mat that is just slightly bigger. So 3 1/4, we're going to put it on 3 3/8. by, and this was 2.5 inches tall, we're going to put it on 2 5/8. So again, just about a 1/16 of an inch around all 4 sides, okay? If there's a direction, and you can see I have this folded here so I can perfectly adhere this, but if I do my hearts like this, it's going to be upside down on the front. So pay attention when you're gluing that, okay? If you want to attach it before you actually put your box together, that probably wouldn't be such a bad idea. So we've got a real red 3 3/8 by 2 5/8 inch panel, and we're going to add our DSP upside down because it's going to be right side up. Oh, I do like that purple too, though. Don't you love the purple? So, like I said, this paper doesn't necessarily have to be just for Valentine's Day. Okay. So again, about a 1/16 of an inch around there. And now you see, that's the front of my box. I need to do my lid as well. And it doesn't really matter what direction your stripes go. But we have here a real red panel that is, again, 3 3/8 of an inch wide, same as the front, by 1 7/8 inch high. Which means that this is 1 3/4 inches high by 3 1/4 inches wide. Okay. DSP 3 1/4 by 1 3/4. Real red base here. 3 3/8 by 1 7/8. Okay. I'm going to just attach my DSP to my real red before I even attach it to my lid. It's just going to be easier, I think. And if it matters in direction, make sure that you pay attention as you're gluing it on, because this would be upside down if it made a difference. We're going to just do that here to our lid, just like that. I do love my glue, can you tell? Okay, there we go. That looks good. Now what I did, I have a doily, and I cut my doily in half, evenly in half. It doesn't have to be perfectly in half because a lot of it is covered, but you can pretty much tell if you do it. I would do it on the scallops, paying attention in between the scallops on the side when you're cutting it in half. If you do it in the middle of a scallop across like that, you're going to cut your hearts in half, and it's just going to look better this way. So these doilies are about 3 3/4 inches wide, just saying. So they're a little bit wider than our box, but it doesn't matter because it's our top. You've got white on the other side. If you wanted a doily that's different, not maybe the pink or bubble bath or whatever the doily, if you wanted something different, you could probably take your brayer or blending brush and carefully, because these have so many holes, you'd have to do it very carefully. You could probably add color to this side, which is white. Okay, that's about right. Probably going to make a mess of myself as I put it on, but we're just going to attach that to our front, kind of even with the top score line, just like that. Isn't that nice? Now we've got our 2.5 inch stylish shaped circle. I think this is the second largest, and we are going to just attach that to our front, but we have our bear to stamp first. And since I didn't bring scrap, and I've already stamped my bear, let's just color our bear. Once again, pecan pie. I think I'm just going to do the light pecan pie. I'm not going to do, you can see how I did that with this one. I didn't add any dark color. I did, though, before I should probably do this first, Flirty Flamingo I added to the tip of his nose. I added to the inside of his ears. Oops, really it should only be one ear that I see. What am I thinking? I could add it to his little bit to the cheeks. Bashful Bear. Betty the Bashful Bear is blushing. Okay, now we've got, let's just get on with it. Sorry, I'm going to cover up my Flirty Flamingo on the ear that I'm really not supposed to be seeing. but I didn't pay attention. I'm going to color my snout, by the way, with light crumb cake. Because this is Monica's project, and that's what Monica chose. I can add more Flirty Flamingo to my blushing cheeks in a second if I want to. We're just coloring my bear, and I'm just doing a really quick job. But we're going to, he would, if we put him on the front of the box, he would actually be bigger than the 2.5-inch circle, which is why we die cut him, and then you can pop him up. I'm not doing a very good job coloring, but luckily with Stampin' Blends, they're so forgiving. It doesn't matter if I do a good job coloring if I can color, because of the alcohol marker, for the most part, the lines kind of disappear. It's not always the same as with our stamping markers. You had to really be careful. Now I know my friend Celine could do a really, really good job if she wanted to. I'll add more pink to my cheek. She did a whole class on using markers, and she did a really great job, I have to say. I'm not that talented. I have lines. Okay, so what we're going to do is pop up our bear with dimensionals right on our stylish shaped circle. We only need a few, maybe 3 or 4. I was doing the virtual card retreat this past weekend. How many of you did the virtual card retreat? And did you love it? I learned so much. And there's still so much to learn because I have half to go. Anyway, Karen Pedersen loves dimensionals. It's so funny. And then we had another speaker, and I'm trying to remember who it was. She was so sweet. But she's thrifty with her dimensionals. That's kind of me too. Okay, this is where we're going to get to use our bubble bath dots, by the way. We're going to do it right here. Do some bubble bath dots just like that. And they always say to do it in 3s, kind of like a triangle, although I'm just not very good at that. When I watched, and I don't know if there's a reason for this, when I watched Elizabeth Price, she loves to use her dots, and she kind of tucks them under, and I'm not really sure why, but it looks like a real artist as opposed to me being so perfectly placing them, right? Okay, we're just going to glue that. Oh no, we're not going to glue that yet. Let's finish putting our box together here first, because we have to tie a ribbon before I do that. So that's the next key. I'll take off my sides. And like I said, I did it so that the front closes so that you can't see that seam. Now, if I was looking at the back, you'd see that seam. That's why I did it on those front rectangle panels that I added the tear and tape that way. There goes my take your pick tool for the 3rd time tonight. Let's just fold that over just like that. You could do this for Easter, fill this with a little bit of grass and put some Cadbury eggs in there. So this is not just a Valentine project, just saying. Okay, now what I want to do next is find my balmy blue ribbon, and we are going to tie that around, and then you can do your secret treat inside. Okay, whatever you choose. This is what we're going to do. So I'm tying the bow just like this. My nail is just driving me crazy. I need to find a nail file. I can't cut close enough to that. I need to find a nail file and just smooth it out. There we go. Look at that. Another beautiful bow. I love making bows. You can always give me your bows to tie if you're in my class. Just saying. Okay, so we're going to keep our bow at the bottom here, just like that. And then we are going to take our Stylish Shapes circle. Just like that. We're going to take some dimensionals just to hold our ribbon in place. And then we can add a couple more dimensionals So this is going to be so that our ribbon is going to stay put, so that you're not going to slide it off the box or something. You're actually going to untie your special little treat. Let's add that here, just like that. And then if you want to, this is what I chose to do. I took my cover off. I'm just going to tuck a couple more dimensionals under here, just like that. Peel it. Yeah, I shouldn't be using my fingers, should I? I'm going to do it on this side, bend that back, and there we go. Last but not least, before we're done, what I want to do, and I may actually move my dot. I was trying to show you what Elizabeth Price does, but you know what? Ugh. That's not going to work because that's going to be, okay, well, that dot's gone. We need to stamp Happy Valentine's Day, and we're going to stamp that in Memento very quickly. We're almost done, guys. Oh, I've been doing 1 hour and 20 minutes. Look at that. And time just flew because you guys had such a lovely time watching me, right? Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you for joining me at the later hour because, like I said, I was stuck in traffic at 5 yet. I hadn't gotten home yet. Stamp Happy Valentine's Day. Try to get it nice and centered and straight. Not bad. Could have done better, could have done worse. And what I'm going to do, one last tip, I'm going to pop up my Happy Valentine's Day here. You know what? I might put one more dimensional under there so that keeps from flipping up. Let's do that. I'm going to just tuck this under here and attach it to my ribbon. Perfect. Okay, now I want to put dimensionals under here. I'm not going to put dimensionals under all 3 because I've already popped up my bear. So what I'm going to do real quick is add it to the 2 ends, just like that. It's going to straddle my bear, just like that. Ta-da. And now, I might take your pick tool that dropped to the floor while I remember it. Let's pick it up, and let's get one more bubble bath dot, and we're going to put it over there. I'll use a little one instead of a big one. Let's do that. We'll do it right there. And ta-da, we've got our box. If you want to, you know what we could do? If you want to also, to make sure this doesn't slide, remember I was saying you could add your DSP to the, I don't see it here. That's why I said to attach it. You could attach any of these to the back of your box too, just like that. So when somebody gets this, what they're going to do is open the box by untying the ribbon, untying your beautiful bow, right? You could probably fit some Little Debbie cakes in here, some brownie treats. You could fill it with kisses if you want. You could put some like mini snack bars in here. There's all kinds of things that would fit in here. Maybe a giant, not a giant, but those big square Reese's peanut butter cups. If you're going to give it to me, you could do that because I love peanut butter. Love peanut butter. So just some ideas for how to fill your box. So let's bring in our 2 cards that we did too. We've got our one that uses a lot of the die cuts, nice and easy. And then we have our pillar card that I had to stamp the banner over because I stamped wrong and didn't stamp on the card before attaching it. So here's your key. Stamp on the card before attaching your basic white. And there's 2 reasons for that. First of all, you can also, if I had stamped that and I didn't stamp it well, I could turn my card over, my cardstock, my basic white, and stamp the bear and the banner over again. As soon as you color it, you're going to see the bleed marks from the blends through it. But if you haven't colored it yet, you can turn your paper over and use the other side. That's why there's 2 sides. Somebody was ingenious when they came up with 2 sides to a cardstock. But anyway, I'm going to flip and say, yikes. Oh, Joyce, thank you for watching. I hope you had a great, enjoyed this. And I think you have this bundle, so I hope you can make many cards and 3D items as well. Especially use those love notes. Thank you, everybody, to watching. Have a wonderful evening. Stay warm this weekend, and I hope you don't get too much more snow. We ended up with about 20 inches total. Love you guys. Bye.